Theresa was downtown looking for a store to shop at to get some good decorations for her office for her new job. She wanted something unique, something that would stand out. That was when, out of the corner of her eye, she spotted an old, decrepit antique store called Rusty's Old Earth Oddities. Its sign hung loose from the face of the building, and it looked like it was 100 years old. Perfect, Theresa thought. This store has the feel I am going for. She went inside and was greeted with the musty smell of damp wood and polish. The store was small, but crammed to the ceiling with all sorts of vintage goods. It was like stepping back in time, and like she should be wearing a Victorian dress if she wanted to fit in. She couldn't help but look on in awe. There were sets of shiny metallic classical coffee and tea sets, curvy furniture that seemed to fit for a prince, music boxes that didn't look functional anymore. Those iron gate and door knockers, one depicted a lion with its fangs out, ready to bite. A whole stack of old Earth maps lined a wall, showing what old explorers thought the world looked like. It was all surreal, but it is why she went in there. Theresa always had a fascination for all things old and forlorn. They spoke to her. "Welcome to Rusty's," a voice loomed out to her. First customer all week. A skinny man with dark hair, heavy sideburns, and small bifocals emerged from a back room and waved to her. She laughed. "It's Friday. I can't be the only one who came in all week." "You Rusty?" The man grinned. "No, I'm Thomas. Rusty was my grandfather. He was the original owner, and yes, unfortunately, this place has seen better days. People don't want old junk like this anymore. They want 4K TVs and VR headsets. Playing cards just don't cut it anymore. But I have a hard time imagining closing this place down, so I try to keep it going the best I can." Theresa told Thomas that she understood, but encouraged him that there were still people like her in the world that loved the old stuff. She picked up some maps for the walls of her office, and some old first edition books for her bookshelf, a few picture frames to place around here and there. Traveling the world was a passion of hers, and she liked putting pictures of her adventures in frames. When she brought her pile of goodies up to the register, she remembered that she wasn't finished yet. "Tom, I need something really special for my desk. Something really special. Something I can look at to remind me to take advantage of every day like it's my last. To inspire me to seize the day, but is also pretty to look at." Thomas said. He tapped the register and seemed to be thinking hard. "Something special. A reminder to seize the day. I think I have something. Yes, I think I do." He went into the back room for a moment and returned with a small box filled to the brim with packing peanuts. They fell out on the counter as he fished inside. He continued, "Got a shipment of goods in last week from an anonymous donor, believe it or not. Didn't even leave a return address or a name. Just a stack of crates coated in sawdust. How's that for inspiration? But this here, let me show you these." Thomas revealed a stunning pair of spectacles. They were made of thick gold paneling and shimmered even in the darkness of the room. The blue lenses looked an inch thick and were set inside frames with an intricate design. Taking them into her hands, Theresa noticed they didn't fold like normal spectacles, but they were set in place by metal without any hinges. Was this thing made out of real gold? "Wow," she said. "This is amazing. It'd be perfect for my desk, no joke, but how much are you charging for it? Looks like it costs $1 million. Thomas shrugged. "I don't know. I haven't had time to get it appraised yet, but to be honest, I'd hate to charge for the thing since I got it for free. Pay it forward, you know?" Theresa looked at him in confusion. "Are you sure? This looks really expensive." "I'm sure. This donor gave enough stuff to fill a warehouse with. You'd actually be doing me a favor by taking it. One less thing I have to go through," he said, then reached quickly back into the box. "Oh, and I almost forgot. It came with a note from the sender." He handed it to her. Theresa frowned. "It's just a picture of the glasses and a mirror. It has a giant X over it." Thomas shrugged again. "I was just as confused as you were. No idea what it means, but you go ahead and keep it anyway, just in case." Theresa thanked Thomas for his extreme generosity and paid for the rest of her goods. It was all too perfect. Everything here was going to look great in her new office, especially those glasses. They were sure to spark all sorts of conversations with her new teammates. Just looking at them sparked the imagination. Looking at them on her desk, she was bound to be reminded of the wonder life has to offer. Satisfied, Theresa went home and fell into a deep sleep filled with happy thoughts and memories. The next day, Theresa got to work early. It was her first week at Copper Nutrition, a nutritional company specializing in sports products. She brought all of her collectibles inside to decorate her office. It took her half an hour to get things just right, but it was worth it. The office now looked like she'd finally made it her own. The company had even finished her nameplate and put it on her door. As the finishing touch, she brought out the glasses she had acquired the day before and placed them on the corner of her desk. It was heavy enough to be a paperweight, but not heavy enough to be a burden. It was perfect. The weird note that came with the glasses stuck in her mind, though. The glasses, the mirror, the X. What on earth did that mean? It probably just meant that the glasses were fragile. Yeah, that had to be it. The morning came and went, with Theresa burying herself in her work. She wanted to make a good impression on everyone, so she made sure to stay focused. When lunch came, she had a local sub shop deliver a Black Forest ham sandwich with extra mayo. She was a sucker for mayo. As she was eating, Theresa stared at the glasses. The sunlight filtering in through her window created flares on the giant blue lenses. It really was a magnificent find. They looked old, like they were probably from some distant, forgotten land. Something Indiana Jones would pick up on one of his adventures. Not able to resist, Theresa picked up the glasses and put them on. They slid on perfectly, like they were made for her. The eye frames were thick and large and felt more like goggles than glasses. Looking through the lenses themselves was weird. Theresa expected her vision to be blurry or fish-eyed like glasses usually do for her, but everything looked normal. The glasses didn't distort her vision at all, or improve them for that matter. There was a slight blue tinge to everything because of the color of the lenses, but it was barely noticeable. She got up from her desk to look for a mirror so she could see herself, but realized that was the one thing she had forgotten to get for her office. "I'm only human," Theresa sighed, shaking her head. There was a bathroom down the hallway, though. Determined, she headed out of her office. She knew she might look goofy with the weird glasses on, but she didn't mind. Who knew? It could be a good conversation starter to get to know everyone in the company. She passed a row of cubicles on her right. Then she saw a man sitting on a chair in front of a computer and nearly fainted. He looked dead. He was hunched over, withered, decrepit. He was almost all skin and bones, almost completely bald. The man turned slowly towards her. His face was all wrinkles and blemishes. Dark circles hung under his eyes like ominous bowling balls. His eyes were yellow, veiny. "Hi, you must be Theresa, the new administrative assistant," he said. Theresa breathed a sigh of relief. He wasn't dead, just old. Really old. He had to be in his 90s. What was he doing working here? A man like that should be retired. Nonetheless, Theresa introduced herself and moved on. A few seconds later, she stopped short again, the glasses still clinging to her face. Another worker rounded the corner with a stack of papers in his hands, but sticking out like a sore thumb was his head. What the hell? Theresa breathed under her breath. A large pole protruded through the man's head. From his eye socket straight out through the back of his head. She was horrified. What happened to him? As he approached, the blood on his face became clearer. It oozed from beneath where the pole had entered his head. Was it some kind of sick joke or something? "Hey, new girl," the man called out as he passed her. She didn't respond. Feeling faint, she rushed the rest of the way into the bathroom. But once inside, she was greeted with another surprise. A woman was at the mirror, putting lipstick on her face. She looked normal at first, but then she turned. Claw marks covered her body. Her stomach was ripped open, and Theresa could see a mass of flesh sticking out of her. This time she yelped. "What's your problem?" the woman asked, confused. The woman looked like she had been attacked by some wild animal. Theresa slowly took off the glasses from her face. The woman now looked completely normal. All of the injuries on her body magically disappeared. Theresa wiped sweat from her forehead and apologized to the woman, who finished her lipstick and then left the bathroom. The weight of the glasses felt heavy in her hands. She looked at them in awe. It was the glasses. The glasses were making everyone look messed up. But how? The only word she could come up with was magic, and a sick sort of magic at that. What once looked ornate and beautiful now looked foreboding in her hands. On her way back to her office, she looked at the man in the cubicle again. This time he looked healthy, young, and not old and decrepit. He looked actually normal this time. Lunch was nearing to a close, but Theresa couldn't think about work. It was impossible, and she felt sick. Naomi, Theresa's friend who had actually vouched for her to help her get this job, knocked on the door. "Theresa, my boyfriend and his friends want to do something fun after work. You busy? Andre is going to be there, that guy you like. What do you think?" Theresa thought about it. Maybe she really was sick. Maybe the sick images she saw were just hallucinations and not the glasses. "I don't know, Naomi," she said. "Come on, you have to. They're going to take us to the shooting range. You ever shoot a gun before?" Naomi asked. Theresa suddenly had the urge to put on the glasses. Naomi was still there, looking normal. No, wait. Something was on her head. A small round hole on her forehead. It was clearly a bullet hole. So it really was the glasses after all. "No, Naomi, you can't go to the shooting range, not tonight." "Why not?" she asked. Theresa thought hard to come up with an excuse. "Because I need you at my place for dinner. For the TV, the broken TV. You said you'd help me fix it. It's all static or something." "No, I didn't. What's wrong with you? And what's with those glasses on your face? You Einstein or something?" Naomi retorted. Theresa begged and pleaded until Naomi relented, saying she'd meet up at her place at 7. As soon as she said this, the bullet hole disappeared from her head. But not long after, Theresa saw something in her neck snap. Naomi's head slouched over and hung loose down her back. Naomi pointed at her, looking like she had been done in by a horror movie villain. "Be there, and we're going to do something fun. I'm not skipping a night out on the town with my boyfriend to fix no damn TV." Theresa nodded and watched as Naomi walked away. Although her back was to her, her head was still swinging back and forth in her direction, a sickly pendulum. Theresa took the glasses off again. The glasses were magic, all right. They seemed to show people at death's door, telling a story about how they died. Though it was probably more accurate to say that the glasses showed people what they looked like at the exact moment of their death. This was all but confirmed when the bullet hole on Naomi changed to a broken neck. Did that mean Naomi was supposed to die at the shooting range tonight? That when Theresa changed her plans, that had changed the way she was going to die? It certainly seemed like that was the case. What kind of sick nightmare were these glasses? And where did they come from? Theresa was almost positive they had not originated from this earth, or at least this dimension. Theresa locked up her office, glasses in hand. There was no way she could continue working today, so she told her boss she was sick. She knew it didn't look good being so new and all, but the glasses were important. She had to get her mind straight. The apartment she lived at was close by, and so Theresa walked home, rubbing her eyes as if that would fix all her problems. They had to be brought back to the antique store. Maybe Thomas could help her. She resolved to go back there on her next day off, and that eased her mind a bit. There were so many people out and about today. It was nice, so it made sense. People just living their lives, clueless to their own eventual fate. But Theresa, she could see them if she wanted. "No," she said to herself, "I can't use these things anymore." But her curiosity got the better of her, and she put the glasses on, looking at the innocent souls around her. Many people actually looked completely normal. In fact, most people did. If the glasses did in fact show people at the moment of their death, This told Theresa that these people just died of normal things. Heart attacks, most likely, hidden cancers or invisible diseases. A whole bunch were turned into old people, so these were the lucky ones, dying of old age. There were many people out on the sidewalks that were not so lucky though. A mangled couple walked hand in hand. Car accident victims, maybe? A college-aged woman had her skin melted off. It was weird watching this burnt corpse check the time on her watch. "Good day," she told Theresa as she walked by. "Not for you," she muttered under her breath. Overwhelmed, many questions came to her mind. What does one do with glasses like these? What should one do, if anything? Should you just go around telling people how they're going to die? Just so they can trade one gruesome death for another? Theresa shuddered. It felt like the job for the Grim Reaper. Theresa didn't feel like eating that evening, and she didn't. She'd laid on her couch all afternoon, just thinking. Naomi was coming over in 2 hours, and the thought of seeing her head swinging all over the place again was too much to bear. She'd have to change that again, to a different fate, somehow. There was one thing that had been bugging her since she got back home, even more than Naomi though. Theresa herself. She wanted to look at herself with the glasses. It was an existential need. How would she die? Would it be painful? She knew she shouldn't. If there's one thing that goes against the laws of nature, it's knowing how you die before you do. Then again, what if the glasses made it look like she was going to die soon? Maybe she could change that. Curiosity kills the cat, as they say. In front of a mirror, Theresa slowly brought the glasses up to her eyes. She would know soon enough. As soon as the lenses made contact with her vision and she saw herself in the mirror, something odd happened. Her face was covered by a white light. The field of vision was completely obscured. Then, in an instant, the white light intensified to a brightness beyond the sun. It was so intense that Theresa threw off the glasses. They clattered to the floor. Rubbing her palms into her eyes, she screamed in agony. It burned. Opening her eyes again, there was nothing there. She was completely blind. 5 minutes later, nothing. An hour later, nothing. "Please, no, this can't be happening, these stupid glasses," Theresa yelled. She should have thrown them out the moment she saw how screwed up they were. They were no good, unnatural, not fit for any human to use. Then she remembered the piece of paper that came with the glasses. She knew what it meant now, but it was too late. The glasses and the mirror with a giant X over it. No one was meant to look at themselves with the glasses. The one thing you can't do with them, Theresa did. Now she was paying for it. She didn't answer the door when Naomi came knocking. The next day came and went, and Theresa didn't go into work. How could she? She couldn't see, though the only thing she could see were the images of the dead, there to haunt her forevermore.